Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Tanks, and I need to turn the volume up a bit. And welcome today to a gameplay, a video from me in the T57 Heavy. Probably a tank that you haven't really seen or heard much about in a while. And in my opinion, that's because this thing recently has been, well, quite overshadowed by the Kranvagn, since Kranvagn got its buffs. And obviously, the 57 Heavy and the 50B were always very, very different. 50B, you had the more accurate, more snipey gun, and a lot quicker mobility. 57 Heavy, you had the brutal, up in your face, slap your tits with the DPM, have it kind of gameplay. Armor was a little bit better on the 57 Heavy, but never anything to shout home about. The mobility was always pretty terrible. The Kranvagn, since it's been buffed, has now kind of taken a bit from both worlds. The mobility of the Kranvagn is much better than the 57 Heavy, not quite as good as the 50B, but the Kranvagn has that DPM and the 440 Alpha, which makes it slightly different. And a lot of people choose the Kranvagn as well, because obviously it has the 12 degrees of gun depression and the massive hull down potential. But today, I'm in the 57 Heavy, which arguably is probably the least picked of these three tanks now, because it is so slow, because you can't move around the battlefield that quickly, and because the armor really counts for absolute crap, because obviously everybody knows when the 57 Heavy pokes, all you do is you shoot it just here, or just here, and that's pretty much done. Game, set, match. You can't side scrape, can't do anything like that. Now, I'm in, obviously, 57 Heavy on Malinovka. We have got a very, very good matchup, I'm not going to lie to you. 4 tier 10s on each team. Although, 1 EBR, 2 big old tank destroyers on each team at tier 10, and then tier 9s, tier 8s. Absolutely lovely. A lot of heavy tanks on each team. Bearing in mind the enemy had over 25,000 HP, and there are tier 8s in the game. That's pretty impressive, especially as an EBR is already dead. But we have managed to get up to the top of the hill in the 57 Heavy. Now, I think about driving around the corner. Try to see if I can, like, just get some shots in as things are coming up. But I think, as it's just the Chimera up here at the minute, I'm going to see if I can bait someone into over-peaking up too far. MX M449 takes a big hit. I'm assuming that's from the Jaegeru. It's not really going to be from anything else, is it? And again, I'm just chilling. I'm using my zoom out, making sure that I'm trying to get that 50 TP to come up to the point where I can then put 4 shots into him. He can only put maybe 1 into me. I see he fires. I'm like, okay, we'll just go around. We put 1 in. We put 2 in. We do bounce the E75 shot, and unfortunately, we bounced the third and the fourth shells. So that wasn't actually a particularly good trade. We took 560 damage from an E75, and we only did 775 in return. Obviously, I was a bit nervous as well, the fact that there's Jagdpanzer E100 there, and I'm now loading the heat. 57 Heavy does get really nice heat rounds, 340mm penetration. See the Jaegeru fire, put 1 in, put 2 in, goes into the dirt, and then go for the superstructure with 3 and 4, and that, again, awful trade. We took 522 from an E75, and 547 from a 50 TP. I really wish all the tanks that were shooting back at me didn't have 500 plus alpha, because it's really putting a dent in my day. I don't like it particularly. But this is something that I still believe that the 57 Heavy is not really matched on that much. The Foch B, yes, but obviously that's a tank destroyer. In terms of the heavy tank, in terms of those 3 tanks that I just mentioned, the 57 Heavy is still the most brutal of the 3. If you get it into a situation where you can unload. Obviously, only 2 seconds between shells makes it very interesting. I zoom out a little bit, see that the E75 fires. Fire 1, fire 2, he gets finished off. I've got 3 and 4. I decide I'm not going to poke out, I'm going to go for a reload, because the enemy team have seen me fire 2. They'll be expecting me to fire another 2, so they're going to be aiming up at me. Decide, yeah, not about that life. Let's go for a full reload. The reload in the 57 Heavy is only about 20 odd seconds for 1600 alpha, which is obviously very nice. You do take 6 seconds to unload, sorry, but nonetheless, you still have insane DPM. And like I said, that is why you play the 57 Heavy. It's got that DPM, it's got that ability to be able to unload on people and just take like 1600 HP off them and get back before the enemy can reload. So if you can slot clips in between enemy reloads, it does so well. Like, I haven't played this tank in so long. I played it because I realised that my mark is on about 90%, and I was like, you know what, I might try and see if I can 3-mark it. So after the campaign, make sure you watch my streams because you might get to see me have a bash at 3-marking the 57. Now, I have run out of heat rounds here. Well, I haven't run out. I've still got 3, but there's no point loading 3 because obviously that's limiting how much potential I can do in the clip. And I'm just chilling. This is something that I don't do enough in World of Tanks. I'm always too greedy for more damage. I'm always wanting to do more right here, right now, need to do more damage, everything like that. This game, I'm actually using my head and actually thinking, you know what, there's no point poking out. 705 can one-shot me. E75 and 50 TP, technically if they high roll, like it'd have to be a pretty big high roll, can one-shot me as well. But I pick a moment where I see all 3 enemy tanks fire, get spotted by the IS-22, and this is kind of like my home now. This E75 wreck is mine. There are many others like it, but this one is mine. Again, now I'm kind of in the situation. Chimera dies behind me. I need to just make sure that I'm picking my opportunities between reloads. I get very lucky there that I bounced the E75 shell. I didn't actually think that he was loaded. I thought he just fired, which is why I poked out, because if not, I wouldn't have really poked out. But we do put a very nice clip in. We finish off the 50 TP with the first shell, and then second, third into the E75, finishing him off, and then put our last one, the 4th one, into the into the Object 705. Very nice first shot into the IS-22 there. And somehow that T44 manages to sneak a shell under the barrel of the E75 and over his hull straight into my turret, which was kind of upsetting because I was like, now I'm a one-shot for near as damn it everything except from a couple of the tier 8s. Still, obviously, got an issue with the 705A. Don't particularly want to expose myself to him. He's going to finish me off very quickly. Shah and T44. 705 gets finished off, and this is where I now poke. Didn't aim that one for quite long enough. One into the T44, and one into the Shah Future. This is something else that the 57 Heavy obviously isn't as good at as the 50B. The 50B has got the gun handle in it. It's got the aim time. It's got the accuracy. In this situation, if it could have survived this long, would be better because obviously you can snipe a lot better. It's in those situations where the 50B's DPM actually starts to come back because its effective DPM is actually a lot higher. Well, not a lot higher, but a lot more equal because it's able to aim quicker, so you're not having to wait between shells. You're not having to take a lot longer to unload your clip than you potentially could, and it's hitting a lot more shells. Because you got to think, you miss one shell, that takes your DPM down by quite considerable amounts. There's something that people, I don't think, always consider when playing water tanks, is what things effective DPMs actually are. Like, you could have something with 6,000 DPM, for example, and put it at tier 1, but if it had the same accuracy as the CGC and a 16-second aim time, its actual effective DPM is not 6,000, it's probably about 1,000. You probably, if that. Fire one into the TS5, don't think I actually hit him. Fire another 2 blind, and I kind of wish I wouldn't have fired those 2 blind because we do have tanks right here. T44, no idea where on earth that shell went, but hey ho. We fired another one, so 3 down, may as well go for the reload. 57 Heavy, unlike the G-Saw video that I just did, my last video, which was G-Saw tank request, in the G-Saw you have to be so careful of blind firing because your clip reload is so long that if you fire a couple blind and then choose to have a reload, you can miss out on big parts of the battle. 57 Heavy, not like that so much. This thing has pretty much half the reload of the G-Saw, so you can absolutely smash things. TS5, don't really know what he's doing. I know he's got an EBR behind him, but that's just stupid. Trying to turn for a EBR when you've got a lot of things shooting you. Know exactly where the Shah Future is. He's in the corner. Put 1, put 2 in, finish off our clip, And that is pretty much all she wrote, I believe. I don't think I do any more damage. I'm pretty sure the 53 TP dies, and then the Badger dies, obviously, before I get there. Because, again, 57 Heavy is not that fast, although even in this situation, I don't think the 50B would have got across there. But that's one of the first, I'd say, big games I've had in a while. Like, you know, 6.5, 7,000 plus damage. 7.2k damage. Yes, I know it was a good matchup, but still, we absolutely dominated up on the hill and then pushing down off the hill. The 57 Heavy, it's kind of annoying when it matches you up in these kind of matchups because you are very much a support tank. You cannot push the fight. You cannot push the tempo. You're just kind of there. You have to have other tanks as support. You can't just push because you haven't got the armor for it and you haven't got the gun to be consistently firing. Yes, the DPM is really good, but people still can punish you when you're on your reload because you do still have a 20 plus second reload between your clips. So people can still punish you, especially in something like this kind of a matchup where you are the top tier heavy and the enemy team's got a 705, which obviously does have the armor. I did have to spend a lot of time playing quite passive at the top of the hill. If I was in something, say, like a Chieftain, 279 or something, I'd have just parked myself, bounced shells, and just been a lot more aggressive. But it's something that you have to do in the 57. You have to play a lot more passive, which sometimes gets you shouted out on your team in these kind of matchups because people are like, oh my god, top tier heavy, please do something. But I think I played this one quite well. Anyway, if you have enjoyed the video, guys, make sure you give it a like. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Make sure you've got notifications turned on. And let's go take a very quick look at the post-game stats. So, there we go, guys. That was me in the 57 Heavy. We did 7,200 damage near us. Damn it. 7,189. 1,677 assistance. We got a bit of spotting on the IS-22. And also a bit of spotting on the T30, if it will pop up. There you go. So that was actually, all in all, like a 9k combined game, which is pretty bloody good. High caliber, probably unsurprisingly, we got 5 kills as well, and it was an ace in the 57 Heavy. Finished top of our team on damage, again, probably quite unsurprisingly. Only just finished top on XP though. The 50 TP, is it the 50 TP? Oh no, I was going to say, is it the prototype? No, it's just the full name of the 50 TP. Doing 4,200 damage, so pretty good game from him as well. EBR, did he do a load of spotting? No, he was just running around doing damage. But yeah, very nice game. And as I've put in the title here, and probably what the title of this video will be, obviously when I record these videos, I record the video first, and then once I've recorded the video, I then come up with the title and kind of like what the whole video is going to be about. It's very rare that I go into something knowing exactly what the video is going to be called. So, yeah, 57 Heavy, is it still relevant? I'll answer the question now. Yes, I think it's still relevant. I still think it's a lot more situational than it used to be. In the majority of situations that the 57 Heavy used to be good in, the Kranvagn is now better in. But it is still that absolute beast of a tank that if you get it in the right situation, it can be absolutely brutal to anyone in front of it. And it can destroy you so quickly because of the DPM, because of that unload time and that reload time. It can just absolutely smash you. That game, 28 shots fired, 23 hits, 20 pens. Credits, who cares, we're playing tier 10. 16,000? 1,677 assisted. And we did block a bit by armor, 1,060, so I think that's 2 E75, 530 alpha shells. The game lasted just under 11 minutes, sorry. But that was actually a really nice game from my point of view. I know it wasn't the highest damage ever, but it was good from my point of view of actually stopping and thinking. If you've watched my streams, you know I'm not very good at this. Actually stopping and thinking, you know what? Pushing in right now isn't the best option. I should just wait, see how the battle evolves, and then push in. And it's something that I'm starting to learn to do more and more. And I'm noticing my stats are improving accordingly. Because even after, this is something that people say all the time, oh, how'd you get to be so good? I'm like, I'm not that good. I'm still getting better. I still want to keep getting better. It's something that I'm noticing a lot more recently, is I'm still getting better at the game. Even 8 years and almost 50,000 battles after I started playing, I'm still getting better. And it's something that I think everybody can do, is everybody can still improve no matter how good they are. But anyway, like I said before, make sure if you've enjoyed the video, you give it a like. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Make sure you've got notifications turned on. And other than that, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.